was that type of actor or character. I mean, but yeah, it's definitely one of those. I'm with you. Like, I can watch it anytime, any place, beginning, end, middle, and just finish watching it.
Yeah, and we just found out today that they are making a prequel to this film.
Yeah, Pet Sematary.
And it's going to be based off of Judd's character, or Fred Grinn's character, Judd.
Yeah.
It's supposed to take place in, 60s?
Something like that, yeah.
Personally, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to the movie. The timeline's not matching up to me because this is 1989. He's obviously like in his 70s. So if you go back, it should probably be either 59, maybe even 49. That's just me. I'm not gonna bitch over the timeline because there's a timeline in it. Every 27 years, and you had whatever.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. But anyway, yeah, we'll talk more about this upcoming prequel
as news develops.
And probably one of our horrible conversations on down the road. Yeah. But yeah, just mention it. And number 1 from 1980, my personal favorite, not only my personal favorite Stephen King film of all time, but my favorite horror movie period of all time, which is 1980's The Shining.
Yep, of course.
And we've talked about this movie to death, so I'm going to make it short and sweet. Jack Tolerance, played by Jack Nicholson, one of the greatest performances ever, mainly because you don't have to think too hard about Jack Nicholson being this character. He doesn't have to convince me that he's crazy. I think Jack Nicholson's crazy anyway.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So he's perfect for the role. And like I always say when I talk about this movie, it's about a guy who's already on the edge, and then you go to a damn possessed or a ghost-filled hotel, and ghosts attach themselves to the weakest person or the most vulnerable person.
Right.
And Jack definitely has his demons. He's an alcoholic. He's got a bad temper. He's a writer. And, he comes in there and he's like a perfect host for these demons to attach themselves. Yeah. And the movie is a slow burn into seeing a man go completely fucking bananas.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about, certain movies all the time, and this is definitely one that gets brought up enough. I just, kind of piggybacking off of what you were saying with Jack Nicholson being crazy, I truly believe it too, because think of how iconic the Joker is.
Yeah. He's had several iconic roles. Like you said, the Joker, and also his role in one of the greatest movies ever made, or at least one of my favorites, is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
Which is, it's about a hospital full of crazy people. I know that might sound insensitive, but that's the language that we were raised on. It's a mental health facility these days, but back then it was a fucking nut house.
Crazy place.
It was a crazy place for crazy people.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, The Shining. Actually, our buddy Brandon, I don't think has seen The Shining.
Yeah, he said that he won't watch it without me because he knows it's my favorite horror movie of all time, and he wants his first experience will be with me, and that sounds weird.
Oh, God. Brandon wants you to pop his cherry.
He wants me to pop his Shining cherry.
Here's Todd.
Felt the lightning Waited on the thunder.
Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize. But yeah, we just wanted to do a kind of a short, sweet Stephen King presentation, is some people would say.
Yeah, and of course, there's other movies that you might put on here. Cujo is a great movie.
Yeah.
What are some other? Christine is a fantastic movie.
Overdrive.
And before we get out of here, let me just say that we did keep this list to suspense and horror films. There are other films in Stephen King's repertoire that we did not mention because it doesn't have anything to do with horror or suspense, like The Green Mile, The Shawshank Redemption, Stand By Me, which Stand By Me is like, if you want to talk about favorite just movies in general, not including horror movies or any genre, Stand By Me is one of my favorites of all time. So,
right.
These were just our horror
Stephen
and
King
suspense,
movies.
yeah, our horror and suspense type of films, and but like you said, some of them are good, some of them are bad. We just we saw one this year, The Boogeyman, which was it wasn't bad, but we just wish it was better. We wish it wasn't like so cliche, and we wish it would have done a little bit more different than your normal movies like that. But unfortunately, it followed the same formula to the point where it wasn't special. It didn't stand out. So, like I said, it wasn't bad, but if you've seen The Boogeyman, you felt like you've seen it 30 times over. It's just so many movies similar.
There's a lot of missed opportunities.
But like I said, Stephen King doesn't make these movies. He writes the books. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear Stephen King fans tell you the book is so much better. The book is so much better. That's fine. I've read a couple Stephen King books myself, and I can tell you the differences in what's in the book and in the movie on most of them. Mostly Pet Sematary, because that's the one that I really zoned into when I read it. But overall, it gave me a sense of, okay, what did they leave out? What did they leave in the movie? What did they leave out that I thought was important? And what did they change up a little bit to further the movie version of it? And was it okay that they left it out? And for the most part, I was okay. One of the big differences in the book, Judd has a wife. Judd has a wife. And in the film, he doesn't have a wife. He's just an old hermit. And honestly, I think that made the character better. It made you feel more for him because he was alone. In the book, Rachel and Judd's wife become really good friends, and Judd and Lewis becomes really good friends, and it's kind of like the young couple, or the old couple befriending the young couple type of deal.
Right.
In this one, it's just Judd across the street, so you get a better sense of like Judd connecting with just the Creed family in general.
Yeah.
He gets close to all of them, which, that's one of the main differences. But you have like little differences like that in all of his books as compared to his movies.
Right.
So
and I think The Boogeyman was a short story. I don't even think it was a full like Stephen King thing.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're kind of like me and you're not too big of a book reader, you could always go on YouTube and listen to the audiobook.
Yeah.
Of, find you a good copy of somebody like just reading it. So, and that's what I did. I actually read Pet Sematary, but I'm actually listening to it because it is a really thick fucking book, and
it's like a Bible.
Yeah, I'm not down with reading like that.
So, that's a little bit beyond your pay grade.
And plus, it's cool to just sit back and kind of close your eyes, and while somebody else is reading it, you can picture it in your head because you've already seen the movie, but now you're hearing stuff that's not in the movie, and it's almost like a puzzle in your mind, like you're seeing the movie, and then you can add these missing pieces to it that wasn't put in the actual miniseries or the movie. So that's just a little exercise you can do.
Yeah. One last movie I'd like to mention is Creepshow.
Yeah, Creepshow, it's a co-production between George A. Romero and Stephen King. Stephen King wrote some of the story, and basically what happened was Stephen King wrote the screenplay and starred in one of the stories, and George A. Romero done the directing part of it, and the great Tom Savini provided the special effects makeup. So all around, I mean, it was just an all-star cast.
Yeah. Definitely one of my favorites.
One of the few that was just a straight movie script and not based off of a novel that Stephen King literally just wrote the script for it. Oddly enough, he hasn't written many movie screen scripts. So usually it's somebody else going off of his work, but there's a few, like the only movie he ever directed was Maximum Overdrive, and some people shit on that movie. I think it's a fucking fun movie.
I like Maximum Overdrive.
And it's even funny when Stephen King admits that he was pretty fucked up on drugs the whole time he made the movie.
Really? I didn't know that.
Well, he didn't know what he was doing, so he just started doing a bunch of fucking drugs, and just whatever happened.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. But, he should be proud of it because all of us nerds, the mainstream media might shit on it, but fuck the mainstream media. They support fucking nasty stuff, so fuck them.
It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. I'm JT Ripper.
And I'm Todd of Thunder, and as always, toodaloo.
Ta-ta, bitches.
Rachel.